Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to have a little chat about this thing, the Invader ATV. And when we talked about this on Saturday, I said I quite liked it. I said I quite liked it because it struck me as being more plausible, more believable than the attack bike is. Now, the attack bike has multiple issues with it. For a start, it's based off the Space Marine bike, which is too low to the ground and doesn't look like it would turn at any point. Which, admittedly, the new Primaris bikes are even worse for that, let's be totally honest. I still really like them because they're massively, heavily armoured. I don't know, I quite like them, but I do acknowledge that they would hit something and stop immediately. Or at the very least, with the new bikes, perhaps they would smash through the rock instead of being disintegrated by it, which kind of is the vibe I get from the current Space Marine bikes. But the attack bike has all the issues of the standard Space Marine bike, only worse. Because the ground clearance is worse. You also have this massive sidecar sticking out, well, the side, funnily enough, which just makes it look even less manoeuvrable or capable of getting over the smallest of obstacles. It's just not great, and it's, for me, anyway, obviously this is all subjective, it's never been great for me. Also, the firing arc on that heavy bolter is irritating, because you can only fire forwards and slightly to the left. The seat that the guy is sitting in does not rotate, so he has to sort of squish. If he wants to get really far round to the left, he has to really squish himself into the seat and awkwardly maneuver. It's just not happening. My first impression of this was, okay, it looks weirdly modern, it doesn't match a lot of the other stuff. It does sort of match the Primaris bikes, so that helps a bit, but it fixes the issues that the attack bike had in certain aspects. Obviously, ground clearance is still terrible, but hey, at least that guy can shoot pretty much wherever he... Oh no, wait, he can't. No, I got distracted. I got fully taken in by the fact that there is clearly a rotating thing. That is a turret type setup in the centre of the ATV with the Primaris Marine stood behind controlling it. And I looked at that and I was like, oh, he can fire wherever he likes pretty much, whenever and wherever he likes. Except he can't, can he? He clearly can't, because he is stood in the back of it. Same setup as that old Orc war buggy, which, an interesting way to bring that design back, but sure. This has the same issues. This has literally the same issues as the attack bike. But in this case, I think it's worse. I think it's worse in that they had an opportunity to fix this. They had an opportunity to fix the things about the attack bike that made no sense, that made it something that, why would you ever deploy that? This could have solved the firing arc problem, the fact that it looks so completely unmanoeuvrable. I mean, in fairness, this does look more manoeuvrable than the attack bike does by far. I will give them that. The setup is just plain not as silly, but it is heavily affected by silly decisions. So you've got a rotating turret in the centre of this ATV. Unfortunately, it cannot rotate any real distance because it is controlled by someone standing up in the back of the ATV. They are behind the turret, so it is completely limited by how far they can lean one side or the other, which is also not ideal and probably not great for accuracy. They can't even lean particularly far to the right because there's an antenna in the way. There's just an antenna sticking up right next to the dude who is supposed to be firing this thing, which hilariously means that it suffers the same issue as the attack bike in terms of firing arcs, because it can't rotate very heavily to the right because there's an antenna. No, sorry, it's the opposite, isn't it? Yeah, the antenna's on the right, so he can't really fire to the left. He can turn it to the right a bit, but if he goes left, he's just gonna smack the antenna. So it's sort of different in that you can only fire forwards and to the left, and with this one, you can fire forwards and to the right. Not ideal. However, it is fixable, this. It is fixable. Now, if I have seen a few people say, well, when you just fly out the back as well, if you go over a bump, the dude in the back is going to fly out. They do have maglock boots, so I would assume he is maglocked to the deck so he doesn't just go hurtling out. If he forgets to do that, then he's shit out of luck, I'm assuming. You can fix this. You can. I think it would take a little bit of work, but it is totally doable. The main thing that this needs for me, to make it just a bit more sensible what a stupid word to use in this context. To make it look, to make it how I would like it, I'm going to stop trying to add qualifiers to this because it's all done. But the guy needs to be sitting down for a start. The one manning the assault cannon there, he needs to be onslaught Gatling cannon, by the look of it, actually, not assault cannon. Should just point that out. He needs to be sitting down, and he needs to be sitting down in such a way that that gun has got essentially a massive firing arc instead of just being only forwards or to the right. Now, I think it is doable. You already have the basis of the turret there. You would have to flatten out the back, make some sort of seat, possibly out of plasticard, or you could, I don't know, maybe get a Primaris biker, have like a saddle seat. That would also work if you wanted to do that. And make it so that instead of him being stood with a turret that has got like a turntable thing to, I've forgotten the word for it, to spin it round, instead the whole arrangement, the guy and the gun needs to turn. It all needs to spin. The antenna that is inexplicably in the worst possible position there needs to move, but that could be attached to the seat he's in. You kind of need to get rid of that little raised platform, level out the back of it, and have the whole thing on one like one socket so they can all spin round. And then that would make far more sense. Because as it stands, that doesn't actually fix any of the things that I don't like about the attack bike. It doesn't fix any of that. It's just translated them to a different vehicle. I think that is how you could fix it, though. It would require a bit of butchery, a bit of messing about, but I think it's doable, and I think it would look better. I mean, I have seen people Photoshop the Firestrike turret just on top of this thing. I don't think that works at all. That thing is way too big. Like, the shield is too massive. If you put that thing where the gun currently is, which is what I've seen, you end up with a vehicle that is taller than it is long, which just looks terrible. But you even out the back of that. You take away that raised section behind the driver. You build a smaller platform and then put the guy in a seat with the turret in front of him, with the whole thing able to turn. That would improve it no end. That would improve it no end, I reckon. And it is doable. I think it is doable. That area, I don't know where you'd put it. I think just put it on the seat. Just stick it on the seat. Like, if the guy in the back holding the gun is sitting down in a big, like, swivel arrangement, then it can just go on the seat. It'll be fine. It'll work way better than where it is now, because why is it even there? But yeah, just a bit of half, like, musing, rambling about, that's not really, it's not as great as I first thought it was. I thought it fixed my issues, but it didn't. But luckily, you can probably butcher it to do that if you wanted to. The question is, should you have to? And the answer is probably not, no. But there we go. I just thought we'd have a little chat about that. So, yeah, if you've got any other ideas for how to sort this particular vehicle out, then do let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear if you have any kit bash plans outside of, your Orc players who I'm assuming are just going to ransack this wholesale. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you? Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, there's an affiliate link for Element Games in the description, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. It's entirely up to you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.